In Scandinavia, it was cold and often damp. The people we now call Vikings, they lived in small rural villages, far from the noise, far from the rush. They woke up early because the day was full of work. Not only the men, but women, children, and the old ones too. The Viking home was long, wooden, 15, maybe 20 meters, sometimes even longer. The roof made of turf or straw, the walls thick wood. Inside, it was dark and quiet. A fire burned in the middle. It gave warmth. They cooked on it. They gathered around it. The smoke rose slowly through a hole in the roof. But not all of it escaped. Some stayed. They got used to it. At night, they closed the door. Dogs stayed inside, sometimes even sheep. One half of the house was for people, the other half for tools, food, or animals. Beds were straw or fur. They slept close together because it was cold and there wasn't much space. They ate porridge, barley, rye, sometimes oats. They added dried fish. Meat was rare: pork, lamb, sometimes chicken. But mostly, it was fish. Salted, dried, kept in barrels. They drank water from the well, if it wasn't frozen, or from a stream, if one was nearby. They had cheese made from milk. Milk spoiled quickly, but cheese lasted longer. Sometimes they drank sour milk, mead only on holidays. Bread was flat, no yeast. Sometimes baked on stones, sometimes on fire. If they had an oven, it was made of clay. But not every family had one. Spring was for planting, summer for mowing, autumn for harvest, winter for fixing, for sowing, for waiting and hoping. Life was the circle of seasons. If you failed in summer, you would go hungry in winter. Clothes were wool, sometimes linen, in winter, hides. Women wore long dresses, aprons, and cloaks. Men wore tunics, trousers. Everyone had a belt, because clothes had no buttons. They used pins, brooches. Shoes were leather, simple, often wet. Children, they played, but they worked too. They helped, they carried water, herded sheep, gathered eggs, helped in the kitchen. By days passed slowly, but work was constant. No weekends, no vacations, only tasks. And then more tasks. Even in winter, you had to fix the sled, check the roof, feed the animals. The dead were buried in graves or on ships. If they were wealthy, with their things, with food, with jewelry, because they believed those things were needed in the next world. They believed the world had many layers. Midgard, the world of people. Asgard, the world of gods. Jotunheim, the world of giants. And Hel, the realm of the dead. The world was held by a great tree, Yggdrasil. Its branches reached the sky. Its roots reached other realms. That was faith. That was order. Simple Vikings rarely left their village. Only if the Jarl called them, or if the harvest failed, or if there was war. But mostly, they lived where they were born and died in the same place. Life was simple, but not easy. No entertainment, no television, no phones. Sometimes, only a lute and a storyteller. Long evenings by the fire. Children listening to sagas. Adults checking the lanterns. Is there a draft? Is the roof leaking? This was the story of a slow life. No rush, no heroes, just ordinary people doing ordinary things every day, year after year. Many live this way. Most of them we will never know by name. But thanks to them, Scandinavia remained, and its culture and traditions. The bread that smells like smoke, the woolen shirt, the runes carved into wood. Morning is dark. Light comes from fire, from a candle, from the heat of the hearth. The eldest wakes first, not from an alarm, but from cold, from the sound of smoke, from a dog stretching nearby. He stirs the fire, adds more wood, stretches his shoulders, says nothing. Others rise slowly. Someone goes to fetch water, someone checks the roof. No one says, "Good morning." It's not the custom, just a glance, a nod, and the day begins. The women make porridge, the children look for eggs, the men check tools. Everyone knows their role. If it snows, they clear the path. If it rains, they brush water from the roof. If it's sunny, they fix the plow. Some don't speak all day, not because they're angry, but because silence feels normal. Children play with stones, shape things from clay, but when called, they help. No questions, just action. No one praises, no one scolds. They just do what must be done. At midday, they eat, not always together, and not much. There must be food left for tomorrow. In the evening, they gather, closer to the fire. Now there may be words. Someone tells how mice chewed through a sack, or how the goat broke the bench leg. No shouting, no complaints, because life is like this. Not easy, not dramatic, just life. Simple life, steady, seasonal. They live without hurry, without noise, without news, only today and tomorrow, and the sound of wood crackling in the fire.
Night falls, slowly, without rush. Shadows stretch across the floor. The wind speaks through the roof, soft, steady. One by one, they lie down, on straw, on fur, close together. No blankets, just body heat and habit. The fire still burns, lower now, only embers. They glow, like memories. One stays awake. Tonight, it's his turn. He wraps a cloak around his shoulders, tight, sits by the doorway, listens. He hears wood creak, the wind outside, a dog's breath, his own heartbeat. He watches the flame, he watches the dark, he watches nothing. Sometimes he stands, walks slowly to the wall, checks a hole, feels for cold air, adjusts a stone, then sits again, still. He doesn't think much. Thinking brings noise. Noise is not welcome. He lets time pass, quietly, evenly, like water dripping. Now and then, a child stirs, whispers, then quiet again. He stays alert, but calm, not afraid, just present. He knows this moment, knows this silence, has known it all his life. Outside, the world is black. No stars tonight, only clouds. The moon is hiding. Still he waits, still he listens, still he breathes. In a few hours, another will rise, another watch, another cloak, another silence, and he will lie down. No pillow, no softness, but enough. Sleep will come, like everything else, slowly, without rush, without force. This is how they live. This is how they survive. By fire, by silence, by knowing morning returns. Quiet, gray light seeps in through the cracks. The fire is almost gone. Only ash remains. Cold breath rises in the air. But no one complains. The one who kept watch rubs his face. His eyes are heavy, but he did his part. Now he sleeps. The others rise, stiff, slow, no words, just motion. Someone opens the door. Fresh air, still cold, but not as sharp as before. Spring is coming, you can smell it. Outside, the snow has started to melt. Patches of brown earth appear, muddy. Birds are quiet, but present. Their tracks show in the mud. Their wings brush the trees. Children chase a chicken. It runs faster than they expect. They laugh, only for a moment, then return to work. The men carry tools, wooden handles, iron blades. They check the fence. One part is broken. They fix it. No one says it's good work. No one needs to. Women sweep the floor, fold cloth, count what grain remains. What's left must last. One child fills buckets with water. Another gathers twigs. These are the small things, but they matter. By midday, the sun appears, a weak sun, but real. It warms their backs, a little. Enough. Lunch is simple, warm porridge, a strip of dried fish, a sip of sour milk. They eat slowly, together, in silence. Then, back to work. There is always more to do, always another rope to tie, another leak to seal, another day to survive. They don't speak of the future, only of today and the next task. This is how it is, how it was, and how it will be. No rush, no pride, no rest, just rhythm and time. The snow is gone. The ground is wet, heavy, dark, full of last year's memories. Spring is here, but not the soft kind. The kind that bites your fingers and soaks your boots. But it's time. Time to plant. They take tools from the shed. A wooden hoe. A rake with broken teeth. A basket of seeds wrapped in cloth. The men clear stones. Big ones first, then small ones. They say nothing. Just move, step by step. The soil smells rich, old. It has been resting all winter. Now it wakes. The women draw lines in the dirt, straight, even, with sticks, or just with their feet. Children follow behind, dropping seeds, one by one, carefully, not too deep, not too close. Sometimes they forget, sometimes they spill. It doesn't matter. It's how they learn. They plant carrots, cabbage, onions, peas, whatever the earth allows. One row at a time. No rush, no race. The garden grows slowly, like everything else. They cover the seeds with soil, gently, with their hands, like tucking a baby into sleep. Then they press the earth, firm but kind. Later, they bring water. Not much, just enough. Too much, and the seeds drown. The sun rises higher. It warms their backs, but their hands are still cold. A bird watches from a post. It says nothing, just blinks, as if to say, "You've done this before."
Yes, they have, and they will again. Not for glory, not for gold, but for food and for life. The garden is small, but important. It feeds them. It reminds them that even in silence, things grow.
The river is quiet, still, cold. Mist rises from the surface, thin like smoke. The sun has not yet climbed, only gray light and the sound of water. They walk slowly. 2 men, 1 boy. Each carries something: a net, a wooden spear, a woven basket. No one talks. Talking scares the fish. At the edge of the water, they stop, kneel. Look, the fish are there, beneath the surface, moving, not fast, but never still. One man moves into the stream, careful, step by step. The water reaches his knees. His boots fill. He does not flinch. The boy holds the basket, watches, learns. His job will come later. The man casts the net. Slow, wide. It sinks with weight. He waits. The other stands on the bank with the spear, watching the shadows. One shadow moves close. He strikes. The splash is quick. So is the silence after. They pull the net, heavy. Full? Sometimes, sometimes not. Today, a few fish, not many, but enough. They place them in the basket, carefully, gratefully, not with joy, but with thanks. The fish will be cleaned, salted, dried, stored in barrels, for winter, for hunger, for survival. They fish again. One more throw, one more try. The water doesn't give easily, but it gives. They know the patterns. Morning is better. Evening, sometimes. Never when the river speaks loudly, only when it whispers. They return the way they came, wet, cold, but satisfied. The boy carries the basket. His hands smell like river, like fish, like work. He doesn't complain. No one does. This is how they fish. Slow, still, together. The sun is soft, not hot, not cold, just enough. The forest is quiet, not silent, but calm. Birds shift in branches. Leaves rustle above. Twigs crack under boots. They carry baskets, woven by hand. Light, strong. A woman walks ahead. Children follow. Slow steps, eyes low. They know where to look, not in the open, but in the shade. Along old paths, near fallen trees. The berries are small, dark blue, deep red. Some sweet, some bitter. Fingers move gently, twist, pull, drop into the basket. Soft sound. One child eats a few. Another wipes juice on his sleeve. The woman says nothing, just smiles. Keeps picking. They move slowly, bush to bush. No rush. There is time. A bee hums past. A branch snaps. A squirrel watches. No one speaks. There is no need. The baskets fill, not fast, but steady. Some berries will be eaten today. Fresh, with bread, maybe with cheese. Most will be dried, stored for winter, for days when the snow is high.
and the sky stays gray. They sit under a tree, rest, drink water, wipe their hands. The woman ties her hair back. The boy checks for thorns. The girl sings, softly, just a few notes. Then silence again. They stand, stretch, lift the baskets. It's time to go. Back to the path. Back to the field. Back to the village. Behind them, the forest. Ahead, more work. But for a moment, the sun is kind. The air is sweet. And their hands are full. This